Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet?
I love people as I meet them one by one. People are just wonderful as individuals. You see the whole...
My great aspiration, my greatest ambition is to be so good. Now, in that way, I'm tiresome, as I suppose, to live with, because I want to be a fantastic human being.
I am the greatest.
We're not disputing that, Cassius, but how does Sonny Liston feel about it?
He can't feel but one way, and let's take everything I say and like it. Because February the 25th, I'm going to take back my job. I'm the champ. He's no champ. He's a tramp.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation.
If I'm a one-hit wonder, at least I got one, huh? At least I got something, really ain't me. The beat bumping, one song could change lives. Let's see something, one joke could save lives. We gon' keep coming, keep functioning, something out of nothing. Ball-wise, I'm top 300, get your favorite artist. I'll chop it up with mutton if they hate us. Your ghost can be bludgeon if they for real. We getting money, subtract BS minus Negroes, button everything authentic. Stupid shit I did it, punishing myself like my mom prison. No questions, no tea, not lifting. One time for tea, being broke wasn't living. One hit wonder, at least I got.
What's up? Happy Monday. Peace, blessings, glory, praise, and honor to the Most High. How's everybody? I hope well. Hope you had a great weekend. A productive start to the week. It's good to be here. It's good to see you all. And I hope you're in good spirits. Shout out to my poets, my writers, content creators. You know who you are out there. If you got anything going on, and it seems like the motion is slow, you don't need to worry about it. Anything that's worth having takes time, takes effort, takes energy, takes pressure. That's how you get diamonds, right? You see the title? I'm still amazed people say the stuff that they say out their mouth. But I guess with social media, it don't really matter. Right? I got Rob in the building. This is going to be an interesting one. I want to hear what y'all got to say. I'm going to bring him up. Do me a solid. Make sure you go over to support. Show that brother some love. Questions, comments, anything of that nature. You know how to get our attention. It's pretty simple. Rob, what's going on, brother?
Yo, happy Monday, happy Monday.
What's the word? What's the word? What's the word?
Glad to be here. You know, homecoming week. It's gonna go down. Sit there.
Hello. How you guys doing?
What's up?
We good. We good. We good. Say homecoming. You excited?
I mean, you know, it's like a national holiday for us, man.
See, you got the hair looking splendid this evening.
Thank you. I missed my bangs, so I gave them back to myself on Friday.
How the fam going?
They're good. My kid just went to his class, and my daughter is tired and watching her show, so maybe she'll fall asleep. But other than that, it was 4-day weekend, so it was nice. My husband's birthday was yesterday, so we got to just hang out and do some fun stuff. He was in his first Muay Thai competition, and he won his bout, so I'm happy for him. On his birthday,
Cheers.
yeah. How about your weekends?
Good. Very good.
It went fast. It went very fast. The weather just flipped. Like last week, Monday, Tuesday, hot. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rain. Now it's just straight cool out. So, hey, I'm not complaining. I've been waiting for this.
I'm jealous. Meanwhile, here it's been super cloudy, looking like it is going to rain, but then it's humid and hot. I'm like, so you're going to give me clouds but no weather? All right, cool. I hate you right now. They gave all the water to Arizona.
Man, look, I got a clip I want to play for y'all. I don't know if she's trolling or not. I swear sometimes I think these people just be saying stuff just so that they can get people to fussing and arguing. But you never really know. So, let me bring this up on a big screen. It ain't a very long clip. I mean, my man had some commentary. It's like a minute, 42 seconds. I'm going to let it run. Share your thoughts. It's bigger than just what she says, but this is why we are here.
If I'm pregnant with your son and you leave me, I'm 100% raising my son gay. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna.
Okay, there is so much to unpack here. First of all, she said if you leave me, not if you cheat on me, not if you do me dirty. If you literally break up with this woman for whatever reason, she now believes that she has the right to do something that she deems to be a punishment to you. Second of all, you're using this child as a tool to harm the man. And I promise you, a lot of these horrible men that you run around complaining about, that's what happened to them. Their mother had them out of spite and used them to get revenge against their father. Third of all, you're weaponizing homophobia. Fourth of all, you're using that orientation as a punishment for the father rather than it just being a thing that your child would be. 5, orientation is not a choice. 6, raising your child to be any specific thing can lead to mental issues, such as children who are raised to be straight who go through these crises figuring out who they actually are. A lot of these lead to these DL men that are constantly complained about on this app. 7th of all, someone's probably gonna be like, oh, but it was just a joke, it's not that deep. I feel like on this app, it's only ever a joke when a woman's the one saying it. A man gets on here, says something slightly problematic, and then men are like, oh, it's a joke. And you're like, no, it's deeper than that. But when a woman says something, it's just a joke, and we have to throw away all the problematic elements. I truly wish we could just be consistent when it came to that topic. But 8th of all, again, I want to remind you of the first, I'm going to recap the whole thing, okay? If you get this woman pregnant, right, and then you break up with her, it could be an amicable breakup. She's going to raise your son to be gay. To like get back at you for some reason, even though like that really doesn't affect you in any way. Like, does this concept make any sense? No. All it does is say, haha, you're gonna be homophobic towards your own son, haha, what are you gonna do? Which just simply does not help anybody involved.
I got two questions, but I want your initial thoughts first. And on what she said, or what he said, or any of it in general. Don't matter who started. I just want to know.
Well, he said every single point that I had in my head, so he covered it. He covered it all. So, yeah, this 1,000%. This is incredibly insulting to people that are on the spectrum, at LGBT spectrum. And like he said, you don't decide to be gay. You are born in a certain mindset, in a certain body. There's actually recent evidence that there's actually differences between the brains of people who are gay and who are not. There's I forgot which area of the brain it affects, but there's like a thickening in a certain area in people that are gay and lesbian than there is in people who consider themselves to be straight. So there is actual evidence to show that they are actually physiological different people in terms of brain development. And so this is not something that you like wake up and you're like, okay, I'm going to be gay today. Like this is something that you're born with, you develop. And as he said, if you're trying to force your child into a mold that they do not belong in, that they do not identify with, you are going to do a ton of damage, not only to your child, but your relationship with your child. And I mean, coming at it with her energy anyways is already going to do damage to her child, whether or not she tries to make him gay or not. And also, like, what does she define as gay? Like, there's so many different types of gay that, like, there's no one definition. Like, there are people that are the stereotypical gay, and then there's people that are nothing like that. They're their own person. They're their own individual personality. And like, as I said, it's very offensive to people who are who are in the LGBT community, because she's negating all of that facts about it being your identity. She's also using it, as he said, as a punishment for not only the other parent, but also for her child. Her child is going to be punished for something they never even did. And then also, like, someone like that should not be get out of revenge. Like, the only reason you should ever have a kid is because you want a kid. You want a child, to raise a child and give them love and give them guidance to become the best human they can, not to be a pawn. So I sincerely hope that she's kidding. And I also really liked the point that he made too, how whenever women say this stuff, it's a joke, but when men say it, then all the women are like, oh, look at him, and it's very true. I definitely see that on social media, where when women say things, they can just be like, oh yeah, it's just being funny, and then all the girls will laugh along with it, and they'll even make jokes too and add on to it. But if a guy says it, they will post and repost and comment and share it with everybody and make sure everyone knows how horrible of a person he is, even if he did nothing. So I 1,000% agree with all of his points. He made some very good points, and I appreciated all of his breakdown of her choices.
Yeah, I don't know how you make somebody gay. Also, I don't know. I'm speechless right now. Go ahead, D. I can't even think right now.
Look, bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I did a short. I didn't even bother to mess around with that particular video. I made a short, posted it, and on TikTok, the people are like, "Well, I'm gonna play it," but they said, "Oh, it's satire. It's not real. It's just her being sarcastic. She didn't really mean anything by it," and it absolutely ties into this right here specifically, where I don't know why. at the beginning of a relationship, you look at this person like, oh, they're everything in the world. They're prime real estate, right? They got the charisma. They're physically your type. They're mentally on par with your character, your wit, your charm. Y'all have fun together. Everything is tra-la-la-la-la at the beginning, and then you start to figure out within the weeks going into it that everything was not what you thought it was, and now they're absolute trash, or whatever the case may be. You determine that they're a piece of shit now all of a sudden. Why would you, as an adult? I think this shit is super immature. But why, as an adult, would you take your anger or your resentment and bitterness out on a human being that had nothing to do with your poor decisions or poor choice in mate? This is who you decided to procreate with, right? I didn't see Rob holding a gun to your head, telling you this is who you need to deal with. I didn't see nobody pressuring you to be with that person. You decided that's what you wanted to do. So if anything doesn't work out the way that you want it to, you got to take that L. What the hell does that? What does the child have to do? What happened between you and the person? Maybe you should have been better at vetting your partner. You know what I'm saying? There's something very disturbing about being able to be playful with remarks like that. And matter of fact, this is what I'm gonna do. Because I want you to understand, like, to me, this shit is childish and it's trifling. You should not, like, at this grown age, there's things that you should not be saying out of your mouth that you absolutely don't mean, especially on social media. I take things serious, especially when it comes to kids being involved. So this is another example of what you said, and what the guy said in a video. Rob, if you want to chime in, you're more than welcome to, while I look for this or bring this up on the screen. Let's see.
Yeah, I don't know. It's clickbait. Clickbait. Anything for clickbait. And it works. It's very effective.
The joke that did come to mind, and this is a joke, is the only reason that poor kid would turn out to be gay is because he's traumatized by the type of woman that his mom would be. And then he'd be like, oh, no, I'm good. I don't want to date any of you guys.
It's distasteful. I watch you talk, like the words that come out your mouth, I'm turned off automatically. I couldn't be in a room with you for 24 hours a day, coming home to you after working, if that's how you communicate.
And imagine what she's going to teach her daughter if she ends up having a daughter instead. But she said, like, if I have a son, I'm going to, like, imagine what she's going to end up instilling in her daughter. Her daughter is going to grow up with this, like, really distorted view of men and relationships, and she's probably going to have an equally dysfunctional relationship in her future if she doesn't have other people around her that are encouraging her to follow a different direction.
Which leads me to this video right here. She says everything. Everybody said it was satire. It was just a joke. I don't find it humorous.
Raising my kids to be gay, and I just wanted to hop on here and share some tips on how I'm doing that in case there's other parents out there that want gay kids. With all three of my kids, I made sure that the first onesie that they ever wore was rainbow. For my two girls, their first onesie said Miss Steal Your Girl, and for my boy, his first onesie said Gentleman's Man. I absolutely do not allow my kids to watch any TV shows or movies that have straight couples in them. It's not that I really have a problem with straight people, it's just that I don't think they should be pushing their sexuality onto my kids. Anytime I see my kids staring at someone the same gender as them, I say, ooh, are you flirting? I only have one kid in school right now, and anytime she comes home and tells me a story that mentions a girl, I say, oh, is that your girlfriend? I also make sure my kids are aware that if they ever come home and tell me they're in a straight relationship, that I will be making them go to drag shows until they tell me they're gay. If all of that doesn't work out and they still turn out to be straight, I'm going to tell them that they're going to burn for the rest of eternity because they like people of the opposite gender. They're also not going to be allowed to live in my house if they're straight. That's the only rule in my household. The only thing I ask of my kids is to not be heterosexual. I'm ready.
All right, have a nice night, guys. I'm just gonna like, oh my god.
This is the most speechless I've ever been in my life. But I will say this. I was told that if you follow a crazy person home, a lot of times you get crazy people. A lot of times kids is taught, just like the artist Doechii, that she finds straight men a red flag. So you can see the agenda a lot of the people are on, and you know, I ain't for it. I can't say I support nothing like that. I don't. You gotta let a child become who they gonna be. You gotta you know what I'm saying? That type of stuff on them. That's up there with teaching hate, teaching racism, whatever. I know. In the black community for a while, a lot of times the mothers would make the boys a little feminine because to protect them. You know that from when they go outside from the police and things of that matter. A lot of times they will make them passive, aggressive, and real like I keep it passive aggressive, but like you forcefully making, that's weird, and that's more clickbait.
You should not be in no type of adult relationship at all. You should be dealing with, the only thing that you need to be doing is going to therapy, trying to figure out why you have like these uncontrollable patterns of impulses that make you think irrationally and move like, how do I put this? Over the age of 22, 23, you should know better. Like if you was raised right, you should know better. You should know if things don't work out, you just walk away. You do your best to leave the relationship or the friendship or the partnership on respectable terms without it turning into messy, dramatic overkill of word exchanges that end up with somebody getting hurt. Because feelings tend to always take precedent over rationality. where one person is more invested in the other person. So when things don't go the way that you want them to, you don't know how to control yourself. Just finished watching a video where the man was stalking a woman because the woman didn't want him no more. So he finally found her. He pulled up to her at the stoplight, got out of his truck, shot her in front of her kids, got back in the car, and left. They haven't found him yet. And this is my thing. You got to understand that when you're dealing with people that you're not equally yoked with, you're going to have hardships. Them tests and them, like, all right, put it this way. The testing trials that Rob or Sydney will go through with their partners, they're going to be able to get through them. Why? Because there's a different dynamic there. The principles and the things that they believe in allow them more room to grow together. But see, when people are dealing with folks that they ain't got no business dealing with, when these issues come up, like you might be on the verge of going broke, or somebody's horrible with spending money, or one person doesn't know how to communicate, or whatever, they're not going to be able to handle that. They can't. And this is what I see so much. Men and women dealing with people for the wrong reasons. And then when you get put in a place where you see red flags in that person, they don't know how to adapt or acknowledge what you're seeing in them. So you're trying to get them to understand, but they can't. They're not in that place that you're in. But for whatever reason, we keep on going around and around and around in this circle where y'all want to keep on experimenting with people that you shouldn't be, instead of actually doing internal work, trying to understand, all right, why do I always end up with this type of person where they don't understand my love. They don't understand my love language, if that's even something that y'all even believe in. They don't know me. They don't know me well enough to be able to get me to relax, or hey, this is this, without you even saying it. Like there's things that your partner is going to be able to assist you with, and vice versa, that nobody else is going to be able to do it. But in order to be in that place, you have to vet the person. You really got to get to know who they are inside and out. And it goes beyond just sex. So with women like this who use social media to say goofy things like that out their mouth, I get real cringy. It's very uncomfortable. But you can tell me it's satire and it's for jokes and giggles, but there are people out here that really try to groom their children. They hate their baby fathers. There's women out here that do nothing but talk shit about their child father. There's people out here that go out of their way to make the other person's life miserable. Like, we got to stop with that.
I find it really hard to believe that she was joking. Like, that was so much detail and specificity. Like the descriptions on the shirts and all of those horrible things that they'd say to the kids to threaten them, basically, into thinking a certain way, and like all of the inappropriate comments, like, "Oh, is that your girlfriend?" or whatever. Like, I don't know. That's just it. see how somebody could come up with that as a joke, but I don't know. It just seemed way, way too specific for me to fully believe that was actually a joke. Like, at the very least, it was like secret wishful thinking, even though she's going to frame it as a joke or something like that. I like that. And then, even if she was entirely joking, there's a good chance that one day her kids are going to find those videos. Their kids are going to see those videos because one of their friends is going to come across it. Somebody they know is going to come across it and be like, hey, isn't that your mom? And they're going to see this horrible stuff. And at that age, you're, especially like if they're a teenager, middle school, something like that, number one, you're highly impressionable. And to hear your parents say something like that to you is going to do a number on your trust in that parent. And then two, you are already susceptible to bullying at school and feeling self-conscious and having self-esteem problems, having higher rates of mental illness, and you're on the internet and all this stuff. So now they have to have that floating around and the possibility of someone else seeing that and bringing it up and making fun of them for it. So no matter like if she was joking, it's still going to be damaging to that kid, especially if they come across that video. But if she's not joking, I don't even have to say it. That's flat out abusive. Like, that is not the way you're supposed to raise a child. You're supposed to raise the child with the space to become the person that they're meant to be, not to, here's the box you need to fit in, and I want you to fit in that box. So if you do anything outside that box, you're going to be scrutinized and punished and ridiculed. And the fact that she told them that they're going to burn in hell or something like that, I'm like, oh my. Those aren't jokes that you make, especially about your kid, and then putting it on social media for all the world to see. I'm like, it's already bad enough that people are putting stuff out there of their kids like in raunchy clothing, and there's weirdos out there. Like, now you're going to put something out there to just entice people to, like, you're grooming your kid and you're going to entice other people to groom your kid to act a certain way. It's just disgusting. And like, really, parents should be more focused on raising their kids than making stupid jokes on the internet for clout. It's ridiculous.
There was a number of people that's really got in my inbox and said, this is satire. Me listening back to it, if what you're implying is that she is trying to insult people who are judgmental of the LGBTQ community, or you're trying to say that this is what you do to folks that don't want to conform to biological laws or of nature. So I'm actually mocking you. Maybe that's what you're trying to say. That's the only thing that I can think of. If you're really telling me that this is supposed to be satire, because as soon as she said you're gonna burn or some stuff like that because you want to be like, I'm okay. I see what I think I see what you're trying to say. I think you're trying to mock straight people who have a lot of critique against folks that are gay or they are bisexual or whatever. That's what I'm getting from it. Either way, I just don't understand the method. I don't see how that's supposed to really accomplish anything. Like, what are you really saying? Are you trying to insult straight people by saying this, or are you really in your head believing that this is the best way to raise your kids? I don't know. I don't know. It's all messy to me, man.
Told you I'm stuck. I'm lost. Because thinking about how impressionable kids are, and you could really, meet them. If they trust you, they feel like you love them, they will do anything you ask them. And if you putting this in their head, and maybe it wasn't joke. You know how some people are like, boy can't play with dolls, or I was just looking at something where the guy said, the boy can't have y'all said he can't have a kitchen set, so I got him a kitchen set. Like some things, you know how we say some things is for boys, some things is for girls. So and that programming does start from the womb. So with all that, I can see it. I see a lot of the celebrities. There was one girl. She had her little boy walking around in tutus and all that. The dude's son, Wade or whatever, changed his name. And my thing was, are children born like that, or is it a choice? At the end of the day, it don't even matter to me, because the kids deserve love, they deserve nurturing, whichever way. Squish, what up? What up? Hi, Adrian, y'all. What a kid deserves unconditional love regardless. And regardless of what they are, you're going to treat them the same way instead of trying to program them into a certain, unless you're grooming them for yourself or something. So like I said, yeah, I keep getting more and more lost every time I'm thinking about all this, because it just sounds crazy, and it's wild, because regardless if it's clickbait or not, there's probably people out there like this, and they wanted attention. They're gonna get it, and like you said, Sydney, their children probably received the brunt of it. Mess around, the girl probably might not even have kids. You never know. Did they do any like videos or response videos to like explain themselves?
Let me see if I can answer this question. You you can do whatever you want with your children. I'm not here to tell nobody how to raise theirs. Give them a fair shot. If I can say anything that's neutral here, give them a fair shot. Fuck your feelings. How you feel towards the person that you lay down with. Remove all your personal stuff. Remove all that and think about, am I giving them the best opportunity to become what they should for themselves? Like, I want to be an influence, but I don't want to be responsible for altering your life because of personalized history that I still hold on to. I think a lot of people do it, and it's not fair. But life ain't fair, I know, but it's not right. You're grown. You need to learn how to separate your stuff from theirs. I'm not really too sure with Dwayne Wade, and like that whole thing is weird, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know how that happened at all. I don't know if, like, The shit's is demonic, bro. It's demonic. But that's just me. They might feel differently. You might feel differently. I think shit is demonic. I had somebody respond under a post. They said, no, it's the religious people who make these people stop it. The only folks that are responsible for creating these problems within the community is the community itself. The mother, the father, the uncles, the cousins, the friends, whoever you are orbiting around on your daily basis. Whatever happened with Dwayne Wade and his family, that's between him, Gabrielle Union, and the kids. I can tell you, they're responsible for that, though. I can say that 100%. They dropped the ball somewhere. Did he pick it up on his own? I don't know. Did they ease him into it? I don't know. They still responsible because they're the ones they're monitoring his life, his growth, his development, all that. Them, what they do with each other, coming and going inside of the house, from their career to how they pair bond, all that. Your kid watches everything you do. Your child watches everything you do, just like social media watches everything we do. Or your co-workers, we're watching for specific reasons. I digress, though. Question. What's the point of getting in any type of relationship if at the end of the day, all you're going to do is assassinate the other person's character? Like, why even bother dating or being intimate with a person if you're going to end up on social media saying some of the weird shit that this woman and the other one said? Like, why do y'all even do it? Like, I'm really asking the question because I want to know where the logic is in this. We really be out here sleeping around with people by choice, by the way. And instead of saying, oh, well, I let them do this, I let them nut at me, I let them do all this freaky shit to me, I gave them my heart, I gave them my time and energy and resources, I cut off everybody for them, I did this, I did that. Instead of doing that and saying, well, they might have kind of had charisma and this, that, but I still, I. Why don't we get the I part? Why is it always you want to demonize the other person and point fingers at the other person? You participated in the whole thing. So why not just say, all right, a lot of this is on me too. Let me go ahead and take my L and learn from it and perhaps not make the same mistake again. But instead, what you want to do is you don't want to hold any accountability. You want all blame and fault to go on them. And on top of that, you take that resentment and then you want to spread the love to everybody else who ain't had nothing to do with it. How you like?
Dwayne Wade is a really relevant story to use for this, actually. So the history with that is he kind of figured that that his daughter was trans, because when she was 8, she wrote in a school assignment that she identified as gay. And so he said that they were prepared for it and they knew that it was coming. But he realized that she wasn't actually comfortable sharing that information with him because he would try to talk to her about it, and she was scared to talk to him about it. She would hide behind her mom. She would like hide behind a chair. She didn't want to talk to him about it. And so he had to reevaluate how he was treating her, how he was acting around her, because he was realizing that his own like toxic masculinity was kind of like bleeding out into his relationship with his daughter, and it was affecting her ability to feel comfortable with him. And so he had to like come to her and be like, look, you can tell me anything. Like, I want to be there for you. And he said that like seeing the fear in her face being approached about these things was what made him realize he had to like check himself. And he in the article, he said that he had to start doing a lot of listening, both to his daughter and to experts. He did a lot of work to understand her perspective and what she was going through, why she was afraid, and the stigma that's behind that identity. And so he started to adjust how he acted, adjust how he behaved around her, because he realized that he was having an impact on her own feelings towards herself. And he has since, one of the quotes in here that I thought was kind of funny, he said, I became all kinds of things because I support my child, and being who she is important. So I've become gay. I did. He was like showing off his pink nails in the that she had like done on him. And he also said, I think the hardest part about it is shutting out the world and shutting out the people that are not really in our circle, but they have their opinions. And since we're a public facing family, I have to show her my support. And so I think that's a really, really relevant example in comparison to the video that we just saw, that disgusting display, because that is the complete opposite of what he's doing. By her saying like, no, you're going to be these things because I want you to be these things. They're not listening to their child. They're not going to be open to their child's perspective and what's comfortable to them. They're trying to manipulate that child's identity without caring at all how they're going to feel or perceive that or be perceived by other people. And at the very least, they're going to greatly confuse their child, because they're going to feel a certain way, but they're going to be coached to act a different way. It's like if somebody hates a sport and they're being like put to be a famous athlete and they have no interest in it, they're going to feel the need to fulfill that obligation that people are setting for them, but they're not going to have any heart in what they're doing. And so they're like, why do I hate going here so much, even though people tell me that I need to be doing this? And it's going to be that type of mentality where they're just going to be getting all of these messages from the outside world, but it's not going to match up with their internal world. And they're going to grow up extremely confused, extremely bothered, because they're not going to feel like themselves, and they're going to feel like people don't understand them. I even remember, it obviously was not that bad, not as bad as what this lady would do if she was serious. But my mom had different desires for me than I had for myself, and I would have some of that be put on me. Like, she wanted me to behave certain ways or hang out with certain types of people, even though I didn't identify with those lifestyles that she was interested in. And I struggled for a really long time to discover what my identity was and separate what I was taught from what I am inside. And that's the danger of these parents, whether they're being serious or not, putting these ideas in their head and expecting them to act a certain way or live a certain life in favor of the parents, whatever reason they're doing this, whether it's for clout or whether it's to get back at a partner. And it's going to be incredibly damaging to the child, whether they're kidding or not. Because one, that child could potentially develop really negative biases towards other groups of people. Like, they could end up embodying a lot of the stigma and like sexist ideologies that come with this type of manipulation. And it could also have an opposite effect where it makes them hate the community, because subconsciously they're like unhappy with the type of behavior and things they've been forced to be, how you like kind of pendulum swing to the complete opposite, as opposed to finding your true self. You're just going to completely reject anything that remotely represents the thing that your parents were trying to get you to be. And so these kids could very potentially have their entire identities muddled or destroyed because they were raised to be something that they weren't. And I think the story with Dwayne and his daughter is the perfect example of why parents also have to adjust. It can't just be like, oh, I'm the parent, I tell you what to do, you're the child, so you follow my directions. Like, it's a give and take, just like a marriage. It's back and forth. The wife and the father, or the wife and, or I guess the spouse and the other spouse, they have to have a back and forth where they sometimes give to the other person, sometimes they give to the other person, sometimes they have to compromise. It's a process of adjusting, and you have to be willing to do that for your child if you want to have a successful relationship with your child, because you're either going to deeply traumatize the kid or you're going to destroy your relationship with them, and by the time they grow up, they're not going to want anything to do with you. So yeah, that's all to say that it's super important that you actually pay attention to what your child needs and what your child wants and how they want to live. Because if you put yourself on that child, they're going to grow up confused in whatever capacity and whatever level that you have forced them to live. And a lot of people think, oh, well, if I just train them from an early age, like they won't even realize it. They will, because our cells, our bodies, we are all created in a certain way, and our bodies know when the way we're living is not cogent with the way that we think and the way that we feel. That's why people that are gay, people that are trans, people that are other identities than they were born in are in so much turmoil as they're trying to figure out who they are, because they've been taught all of these things, but inside they're like, this doesn't match. Like, what's wrong with me? Is there something, like, did I do something wrong? Are these people going to hate me? Am I going to be ostracized from my community? And so we really have to be there for our child in that we provide a space for them to develop, rather than, as I said, give them a box and be like, okay, develop in this box.
Why do you think people who have these bitter breakups, let's say it was amicable, matter of fact, I don't even buy that. I think one person typically wants to hold on more than the other, but they just go with it. And we just call it that. But why do you think women, why do you think they do that though, bro? Like, I'm not, matter of fact, let me just go ahead and say, if it don't apply, let it fly, all right? Because I don't want nobody thinking that this is directed to everyone. We should already know that by now. Why do you think this specific group of women utilize the courtroom, false DNA testing, manipulating the other person to why do you feel the need to persuade or to enact revenge or whatever the case may be when things don't go right? Like, wouldn't common sense say right before you even decide to conceive with this person that maybe this is not something I should do, to prevent from even going down this road where you have to have court battles, where the guy has to go through the loopholes and all the hurdles of trying to prove his innocence? Why not just prevent all of that shit? cut your losses ahead of time and then just keep moving.
I mean, it sounds easy, man. People be looking for love. A lot of times, the first question you said before that, it's hard to hold yourself accountable, and old habits die hard. So a lot of times you think this gonna be different, and then you forget. Everybody forget that honeymoon stage when it was raw, and you forget to vet this person out, that person out, and it's the same for males because males is real vindictive. Like they get to doing a lot of crazy stuff when you get denied, and a lot of times people give their all, so they feel like, okay, I gave my all, so it's the way it should stay. You know what I'm saying? But toxic is toxic, and at the end of the day, it's gonna show. And then you got the other fact that people get bored because people change every day. You wake up, change every day, you change. And I know for men, a lot of times it's a conquest thing. Once you get what you want, you change up. A lot of time with the girls, once they give you what they want, they fall in love. They feel like, okay, I don't open up to you. Now you mine. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, the kids get the brunt of it a lot of times because the hate be there, or it's just like your father, I can't stand you, or you just like your mother, da 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 da. You know, like you said, you ideally with mature, consenting adults, you would think, okay, now we made this decision. We're gonna go our separate ways, but we're gonna do the best. Now that often gets messy. Don't let the public get in it. Forget about it. And at the end of the day, the kids are affected because most kids, especially if their parents was together some years, they don't care how toxic it is. They want their kids they want their parents to go. So a lot of times, divorce really them how to process. And then a lot of times we don't teach them how to process. We don't teach them relationship goals. A lot of times, especially older parents, they lead by threats. If you do this, this gonna happen. If you don't do this, that. Not giving the kids an opportunity to make choices. Teach them how to make informed decisions. Teach them how to critically think. Teach them how to be patient and let things come out. Because after a while, everything gonna come out. So with we make these decisions, we rush in, everything good until the responsibility comes along. You gotta begin negotiating, you gotta sacrifice, and once that feeling is gone, a lot of times people will do anything to get out of it, even if it's negative. And it's hard to walk away because, like I could say, as a man, like I chased before for a long, why you don't want me until I realized, like, you know what, that was a self-love thing, that was a low self-esteem thing, but I had to learn how to love myself to see, okay, you know what, I might like this person, but they ain't and happy now, you know what I'm saying? So that takes a lot of growth, that takes a lot of self-reflection, and then it also takes being able to keep yourself busy enough to be alone with yourself, because I really believe that you can't love nobody until you can fully love yourself. You can't be with nobody until you can be alone with yourself. When you can sit in a four-corner room and you okay with whatever goes down, and you understand that there's a good chance if you prepare today that you might wake up tomorrow and you okay no matter who's there, then you can go ahead and compromise and be with somebody. Everybody develops that in their own stages. It ain't even no set linear date for that. So a lot of times you push that on the kids. You know what I'm saying? Or the kids just repeat. The kids repeat. So if they see you, bounce around from house to house, or they see you arguing. If they don't see you in a positive relationship, a lot of times they're not gonna have a positive relationship unless they are those super intelligent kids that say, "Hey, I'm not gonna be like this," and they make sure that those people who are not like that. You have a lot of them too that are like gifted and understanding. But for the most part, a lot of times we repeat what we see, or we do what we don't see. We think that, oh, we don't be like them. A lot of times, just like the person you said you wasn't like, you was in the same house with them for 12 years. So the toxic stuff that goes both ways, and then with the way society is set up right now, look at the we get when you turn on the internet. That's the first thing you. And then I'm sure once you seen that clip going. Both of those clips that you showed today, I had scrolled past them the other day. I had seen them too, and I just scrolled past because it's like whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like that thing is that post going up and up and up and up and up. You know what I'm saying? So this is what. Guess what? If you're not monitoring your children's socials, they're going to see that post too. Especially if they paid, they might even pay to sponsor the post for promotion or whatever. So at this point in time, we're in a day to where comprehension is not really valued anymore. Thinking is not thinking before you make decisions. And like I said, you either gonna get it to where it's instilled in you. You have by your parents. You have some kids who are just able to make good decisions because they want to be those people. But for the most part, yeah, like you said, impulsivity, we do a lot of time we think with the wrong parts.
People don't like to be alone. I don't know what you're running from. Maybe you're just running from something that you're not trying to face. Because whatever.
Some people, I don't mean to cut you off real quick. Some people can't be alone, and that be a problem for them.
Yeah. As long as I've been circulating this earth, I know one thing for sure. If you spend a fraction of the time by yourself that you do around people all the time, you would realize it's not that you don't like. It's not that you don't actually like people. It's that the more you learn yourself, the more fine-tuned you become. Your filtering system is sharper. You can be a great person for Allison, but for me, I can't be around you longer than 10, 15 minutes. Your personality type does not match with mine, but it might match with his. Doesn't make you a monster, doesn't make you a terrible human being. Just for me, I understand that there's a certain balance that has to be disproportionate, or I don't even think that's the word, dispersed, that allows me not only to function how I need to, but it allows you to function the way you need to. And I understand that based off of what I observe, that's not going to happen. That's why you ultimately end up with no friends, or you might have that one.
Or you just have a bunch of trash friends that are like, they only want to go out drinking and shopping with you.
If you still hanging around people like that, you ain't did the work. You really didn't. Because everybody that I hung around that moved like that, they couldn't be around me no more. They didn't want to be around me no more. Why? Because I don't live that way no more. I'm not fun. I'm not a deposit. I can't help you buy drinks or purchase the blunts or the weed. I can't put in or stuff like that no more. So there's no point of being around you. Like when you alter and reshape your mindset, that's when you eliminate and replace. Now, in terms of these adults who keep on getting in situations, clearly you have not learned your lesson yet. Don't be mad at me or the person who warned you or told you. Maybe you need to go ahead and stay away from people. I've had folks tell me, man, you need to get back out here. You need to solve the baby again. No, I don't. No, I don't. I have things going on that I need to cultivate within me. I have to have in order. On top of that, let's just say that's not even the case. The things that I require, most people are not willing to accept or indulge equally as I would another person. Like, Rob, you are a man of the world. You see life differently. You do things that I wish I could do. If I was in a position to really be out here supporting the folks that I be rocking with on these spaces, and I've already put it on record before with a lot of folks, I would absolutely be present with a lot of these shows, a lot of the things that they be trying to put out there. Like, I can only do so much from where I'm at. But my point is, there are people who are going to pour into you the way that you pour into people. And if that's not what's happening, then you got to ask yourself, why do you keep on doing it? Why do you keep on doing it? That's why I won't. Because if you're not going to pour into me, why would I do it? Why would I even waste my time? 4 or 5 months gone, and you done wasted. No. And also I want to say, men are petty too, but men are not withholding their children from the mother unless she's a horrible piece of work. Like, she has to be trash. But he's not doing that. Men are petty in their own ways with it, but they're not going to try to turn their kid another gender.
If anything, guys are the ones that are going to be like bothered by their kids' sexuality if it's not normal. At least that's what I've noticed. It seems like dads are usually the ones that are more bothered by a sexuality difference, because I've heard two trains of thoughts. One, they're more on the homophobic side, but I've also heard it's out of fear as well, because they are like, I don't want my kids to be treated differently, and I don't want my kids to be hurt. And then there's also that like toxic masculinity, like, oh, I don't want my son to be gay because then he's not going to be macho and whatever. But yeah, I think guys are definitely more covert with the stuff that they do, where women are more like, what do you want to do? Watch me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to mess you up. I'm going to mess them up. I don't even care. Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I keep coming back to how kids are easily molded. And you're right. Toxicity is the thing now. It's the only thing really selling. Most people pushing positivity. Most people pushing uplift. They're not getting the same airtime as the people who are arguing and having drama all of the time. So I don't know. I see a lot of men. I think when you love your children unconditionally, you let them choose their path. Like Squish said, you gotta back out of that. And you think, all the time. The funniest thing I'm seeing is if you tell them don't date this person, that's exactly who they go to. Whatever you tell them not to, and then they come back and be like, "Oh, you was right the whole time. How did you know?" It's like, child, I watched you your whole life. I know you better than you know yourself. As far as pushing something like that on them, yeah, like I said, I don't see it. I don't. Whichever way they are, all you really care about, in my mind, is that they become honest, productive citizens. You don't really care about their relationship status or whatever. You want them to be good people, become good people, and then surround themselves with good people. And for us, a lot of times, like even, for me, I was the one that thought everybody else was crazy. So I kept ending up in a hole that I was digging. And then I had to start, looking in the mirror like, hey, and never will I ever get up there and say I have it all together, because I don't. And I just don't post the bad days, because social media is my house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always make it look clean, but I ain't the judge neither. Because again, my closet is dirtier than anybody. To me, I got the dirtiest closet in the world. So for kids, they ain't asked to be here. I don't think that they should be taught, or pushed into any kind of direction with their sexuality. They should not be forced or manipulated in anything. They need to find that out as they grow. Definitely with the racist and the hate and the bigotry and all of that. Like, I'm not teaching kids none of that. And shows, you could even see the research. So when you put kids together, they don't care if you're gay, they don't care. They're gonna hang out. If you have children, they're gonna hang out. Kids are naturally mean, but they'll hang out. And if you're teaching them right, a lot of times they will only be mean when you be mean to them. So, to those ladies that's forcing this on those children, I think that's diabolical. And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, my final take and thoughts. If you know that you ain't equipped for what you're asking for, or you can be equipped for what you're asking for, but are you equipped for what they're asking for? That's another subject for another time. See, we have all these requirements and requests and demands from other people for what we want, but are you what they want? Can you give them what they need in return? Because this is not about being selfish. But until you're really willing to sit with yourself and have those real honest conversations, stay away from folks. Just stay away from them. So you don't have to have, there's no reason why you should be on the internet saying anything like that. Period. It's childish. You're not making a great case for yourself. Anybody with a working brain and common sense, they see that. I'm like, bro, I just scroll past it. The only reason we having a conversation here is for, well, I'm not going to be the victim. I will not be that guy who ends up on the receiving end of your pettiness because you don't know how to figure out your stuff. But that's all I'm saying about that. Shout out to Arcana, Adrian. Shout out to everybody who pulled up for the stream tonight. Appreciate the feedback, especially from Arcana, bro. Yeah, if y'all not following him, y'all need to go follow him. Dude is a smart, deep thinker. I don't know how he manages to do his streams at work, but shout out, bro. Any final word before we leave this evening?
Learn who you're dealing with. Learn before you rush in. Get to know these people. Get to know the people you're dealing with. Get to know their families. Get to know their likes, their dislikes. And know that the honeymoon phase don't last forever. And then definitely see how they react when they don't get their way. And the same are yourself too. The things that that push your buttons so that you are able to express these things so that you could get what you like. You never get everything you want. But I believe it's somebody for everybody. So, that comes from knowledge yourself and learn to be at a time now where you got all the tools at your disposal where you can find out what you need to know about people nowadays. We got too much information to just be rushing in and making bad decisions because it's easy to get yourself in a bad situation, extra hard to get out of it.
Overall, it's important to keep in mind that everything we say, every way we behave is going to impact our children. And so if people plan to have children, or even if it's a possibility in their mind, they need to be extremely careful about, one, how they act, how they behave, and also who they allow into their lives to affect them and their children. I have a poem that I really like that goes through, that exemplifies that and the impacts that it can have on kids, because a lot of people underestimate just how much of an impact we have on our kids. Like everything from our diet to how we talk to what we say about other people to how we treat our own habits to who we're friends with are going to be rubbed off onto our kids. And a lot of parents do a lot of damage to their kids without even recognizing it. And so I wrote this poem to kind of symbolize that and the impacts that we can end up having on our kids. So if you want, I can go somewhere a little bit. I'll be right. Okay, you want? Okay, so this poem is called Storm Chaser. I love natural disasters because I had to. I had to learn how to stabilize a tornado, outrun a tsunami, outthink a storm. I had to contain earthquakes, cover up outbreaks, and predict where the lavas will flow. Being a permanent bell ringer, the harbinger of chaos, the start of every argument, the one responsible for your happiness. You received cracks from my breaking, but fought back with dams and bricks, screaming in rage like a god, bottling up my rivers with seams, building my walls just for me. so that my anger now bursts forth as a chaotic waterfall over those who do not deserve. How dare you make me wade through the floods you wept over sins that were not mine to grieve.
Down the Mongo. Exceptional way to close out. Thank you. Tomorrow, we are going to address Mr. Donald Trump's spiritual advisor. Yeah. It's about that time, man. I've been just waiting to jump on that one for a minute. We gonna have to go ahead and get that out of the way, because no, sir, you're not about to get away with that one. Nah, we're not doing that. So yeah, tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard. If you are available, pull up. Love to hear your feedback. As per usual, like I said, it's about to be a very long week. I got some stuff I'm about to cook up too over the weekend. Yeah, I'm gonna just leave it at that. But you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Shout out to Rob, Sid. Y'all have a blessed one. Be safe on the road if you have to leave out for anything. Salutes to the people that are watching. And I will see you guys tomorrow, Lord willing. All right? Do me a solid before you go. Hit the button, dig, and we out.
If I'm a one-hit wonder, at least I got one, huh? At least I got something. Really ain't me. The beat bumping, one song could change lives. Let's see something. One joke could save lives. We gon' keep coming, keep functioning. Something out of nothing. Ball-wise, I'm top 300. Get your favorite artist. I'll chop it up with mutton. If they haters, your ghosts can be bludgeon. If they for real, we getting money. Subtract BS minus Negroes, cutting everything authentic. Stupid shit I did it. Punishing myself like my mom prison. No questions, no tea, not lifting. One time for tea, being broke wasn't living.